and farm for poverty. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, we are going to be covering how to actually save up to about 90% on your gas fees on the drip hydrations, compounds, even on the animal farm. Animal farm fees are a little cheaper, but drip on average is like anywhere from 50 to 70 cents. And how you can save 90% of that. Now, this is a video that was originally, or information that was originally, I think, submitted or shared from Crypto Nomad and his admin Sasha in the channel, and then LD did a video, Driptopian did a video. But what I'm going to do in this video is something that none of them actually addressed, and that is explain what RPCs are, the various networks, what makes them better or worse, how you can actually save on gas, like why one RPC has a cheaper gas than the other, as well as the risk factors. So instead of just jumping into these and thinking you're saving money, you need to actually also look at the risk, because you could be facing exploits, and how to validate that. And then of course, brought up a spreadsheet to show the actual savings that I have on the various networks. So let's dive in. I covered briefly on another video what are RPCs, but we're going to go into it again. Now, first, for clarity, when I say RPC, I'm referring to adding a network in your MetaMask. Now, remember, a network is just another basically website or URL in which you can interact with the blockchain and various other chains. So from the RPC perspective, this block here, RPC is remote procedure call, sorry. And RPCs are essential because they enable developers to connect one Web3 network, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Polygon blockchains, with another. One of the critical use cases for RPCs is developing dApps that have the capability to interact with more than one blockchain. So like I shared with you on a previous video, they're essentially like remote servers, right? So they operate a lot of data and allow us, the client, on our mobile phone or on our laptop or computer to actually interact with the more robust blockchain network. Remember, the blockchain itself is a bunch of different computers transacting hash data and compiling that onto the network. So you actually have to have some kind of mediary to interact with that. And that's what the RPCs allow us to do. And specifically in the decentralized side, they allow interaction with dApps, such as Drip Network, or Drip Faucet, and the Animal Farm. These are decentralized applications. So dApps provide a user interface to end users. The RPC layer built into the dApp allows separate parties to communicate with each other. For example, when using MetaMask to conduct transaction, user requests are routed through an RPC to reach the data on the blockchain. So in layman's terms, in order for us with our MetaMask wallet on our mobile phone to actually submit a hydration, a compound, a claim, or whatever, it must go through some remote procedure call or server or middleware, whatever you want to call it, that is out there in the world somewhere that someone is running. Now, a lot of these are actually kind of rented server space, meaning it's not some kid's computer in a basement. It's usually some robust server somewhere in like a really nice building or whatever the case may be. Like I used to work in networking, and you could rent out your server space, meaning you'll actually create a separate place on the drive and resources and all this stuff, and basically you can loan out your server space to other people and they access it privately and all this stuff like that. So you can think of it that way, and that some of these could be set up. They could also be, yes, people operating their own nodes and things of that nature from their house. But the whole point of this is to help you understand like what they are and what they do. So now that we know what RPCs are, we need to evaluate what makes some better or worse than others, and why they are cheaper than others or more expensive. But before we go into that, let's look at what MetaMask says about RPCs. So kind of the same thing. To interact with the blockchain without introducing significant technical tangent, adding network details, using the process below allows MetaMask to use RPCs that enable you to interact with the network. So it's the same thing. And this is just MetaMask's overview of how to add a custom network for RPC. Now, like I said, there are different levels of RPC that help you do different things or make, I guess you could say, the transactions cheaper or more expensive. And some of those reasons are due to like I mentioned before, multiple servers. So depending on how robust the server is for this RPC, depending on how many locations there actually are for the RPC, what the encryption is, the privacy, the bandwidth, the number of users, all these different things will dictate how much they are charging for you to interact with their server. And charging, I mean what the gas fee, the minimal gas fee will actually be. By default, Binance has this one primary, let's actually go here, chainlist.wtf. So Binance has basically this one primary chain that they support as their RPC. This is the default one that everybody gets when they load up their MetaMask. And you can add others, but they come with risk, and that's what we're going to expand on in this video. So let me pull this up real quick. So this is the default. Here has the chain ID, and the RPC goes to data seed, I believe. It's these are all actually Binance.org approved, if you will, RPCs. So I have a couple of these in my wallet that I used to use before, and they're all backups basically, but they kind of all go through the same place and just like backup servers that Binance owns, and typically they have the same cost for gas fees. But before you add different RPCs, you need to actually understand what the risks are. So as I mentioned, you have different gas based off of some of those different factors like bandwidth, privacy, encryption, all that stuff. You also need to know that MetaMask by default does not verify custom networks. So even if you add it, MetaMask cannot verify that the RPC you're utilizing is approved and valid and safe. So you're taking on inherent risk that you have to do your own research on, and they give you a couple of steps to examine, and that's what I want to show you guys in this video. So what they tell you to do first is check out the network name, the URL, the chain ID, the currency, and all that stuff, and make sure that all points to locations that you believe to be true and valid. So like in here, you have the RPC details, and then you can actually go to these websites and see what the website looks like. We're going to look at a few of those. They also tell you to visit Chainlist, that's this website here, to see if it's listed. Now, the only approved RPCs that are here is the default and the testnet. So any other one that you see a YouTuber, content creator, whoever sharing, that means it's quote unquote not approved or vetted by MetaMask. That means you have to do your own research, do your own due diligence, and find out whether or not you trust it. And that's where the risk comes in, because there's no kind of safe way. There's not like a rug doc for this or anything like that. So it kind of is like vetting regular dApps and trying to see if anything looks suspicious. So here's the steps they recommend. Google the name of the network and try to answer the following questions. Be advised, there are many scams and fake social media channels, especially on Telegrams. So, does the network have a website? If so, does it seem legitimate? Does it list the network details? Does the network have an official Twitter or social media account? Do they have a lot of followers? Do they seem reputable? What are people saying about the network? Can you identify any of the people who maintain the network? Are they visible on social media? Do they have a lot of followers? Are there any news articles about the network? So there's a lot of questions and digging you should do before you just jump onto a RPC just to save a couple cents. So again, chainlist.wtf is the default that MetaMask tells you to check out right here. And again, the only ones there is the default and the testnet. The other website that I showed previously is chainlist.org, and you type in your network up here and they give you a whole list. Now they kind of do a little bit of due diligence for you, but it's all done, I think, like automated or third party. I couldn't actually find any data on this, but the check here is representative of the speed, and the boxes here are if your information is private or being shared, or they have no data on it at all. So they don't have a lot of information on all these. So it's again, you got to kind of do your own research and see what it says. But at least this kind of puts the information in your hands, so to speak. It makes it a little easier. But you can see there are a lot of different RPCs here. And this one is the one that most of the content creators in Drip are kind of promoting. And what I did is decided to pull this up so you can see based on the criteria that MetaMask said, like go to their website, does it seem legitimate, yada, yada, yada. So let's take a look. This is anchor.com. And you can see that they actually sell RPC node service, if you will. And the website, yeah, looks clean. I haven't done any details. I didn't contact support, didn't do all that, but just want you guys to see how you can check these out. You can contact sales at ANKR. You can see that they're actually operating on other networks as well. They have some documents you can check out. But again, I didn't vet any of these. Just kind of did the degen play and tested them out for gas, which is what most other content creators are doing. But I want you guys to be educated so you actually understand how to use it and do it. This is another one that I tested. I'm sorry, same one. This one is another one I tested, 1rpc.io. Again, looks like a legitimate website on multiple chains. Has a Discord, yada, 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 Telegram, Twitter, but I didn't check any of these things out. And then a third one that I checked is bscrpc.com. So again, multiple chains, kind of a decent looking website as well. So anyway, now last, those are the risks. That's how to validate. Now we want to get into the prices and as well as how to add it to your MetaMask. So the most common way to add it to your MetaMask is to come into your MetaMask and go to settings and then go to networks, add network, brings up this screen, and then you have to put in the data manually. Now, what I showed you guys is if you go to chainlist.org, then you can actually connect easily. So let's use one I haven't connected to. These are all Binance backups. So let's go Binance Dataseed 4, right? So connect, and you'll get this kind of warning from MetaMask when you're adding a custom network. So allow this site to can add a network, and it tells you learn more about scams, network risk, right? So you can click approve and add it. It's just that simple. So now I have that network added, and you'll be able to see it. I didn't check to see what name I gave it, but it should show up. Binance Smart Chain. So it actually took over my mainnet one. So I have to go back. Oh, it gave me a new name. So this is for the default one, and this is the new one, right? So that is the quick and easy way to add it to your MetaMask. Now let's get into the actual price, because that's what you guys really want to see. Like, what does it cost? All right, up here is the default way settings, which is set at 5 whenever you interact with the contract. I'll show you how to do that and how to change it once you have these added, but just want to show you the prices. So I did this over different times, all within like about 3 hours. So like every hour or every 45 minutes, I was basically hydrating or compounding one drip, and these were the prices. So the default main Binance ones were 44 cents. 1RPC came out the cheapest, and this is the one that everyone else was promoting at the default 5 way. Now, what makes the custom RPCs more bullish is because they allow you to go lower than the default GUI limit that Binance has set. So I went to 2 GUI for each of these transactions, and the default 2 that Binance have failed immediately, and RPC.anchor went through 19 cents, 18 cents, and 11 cents. And this is the time it took. So bscrpc.com took just over a minute. The other 2 were decent times. Now, the cheapest that you can actually do is 1 GUI. I don't have this one already. Forgot about it. I think I'll do it on this video. So these failed again. Anything less than 5, they fail. And I got 6 cents and 9 cents. And then it gave about 13 and 11. So let's do rpc.anchor and show you guys what that looks like when hydrating and utilizing a custom RPC. So I am now on the Drip website, and I need to go to I think it's BSC RPC that I named. Is that the one that I'm missing? Nope. Oh, it's the Anchor one. So it's the one that everybody's using. So need the Anchor RPC network. So we just highlight that one. Now I am connected. You see a change up here at Anchor BSC. Then we're going to go over to the Faucet, and I got 4 drip to hydrate. Now this might run a little slower than normal because I am actually, recording at the same time, and I have seen that have an effect, but we'll see if it still goes through. One way went through for the other 2. I don't think it'll be a problem on this one, but it may be longer due to the fact that I have more resources being utilized on the PC. So when the compound hydrate comes up, you want to click edit, and it's giving you an error here, basically a warning that overriding may cause problems like it does on the default Binance chain. It will actually error out and you will get charged the gas. But on these other RPCs, as I mentioned, they have different GUI settings based off of their kind of robustness of their network and what their profit margin would be, I guess you could say. So you want to hit edit suggested gas settings. Do not change the gas limit. It will definitely error out there, but the actual GUI setting you can set to 1. Oops, can't go 0. It's not free. You're going to hit save, and then it will adjust the total here. Remember, you're going to pay a portion of that. Going to confirm, and then I got to confirm on my ledger, and I'm going to start a timer when my ledger comes up so they can actually see how long it takes. Approve and start. So even though this is running with the streaming or recording software, I want to still see how long it takes, because I do believe it's going to be a little slower, but we will see. All right, it just came through, so I paused it. The power of streaming. So about 1:15, that transaction went through. So let's take a look. So it took about 75 seconds, and that is significantly longer than the other ones that I did when I was not recording. So definitely that makes a difference. So your PC or laptop network speed and or resources will affect the I guess speed at which this gets routed. Is the best way I can explain that. Let's take a look at what this costs. So it costs 9 cents. So the other ones were a little cheaper, but that could just be due to the time of day. But still, clearly using any of these 3 RPCs gives you definitely a lot cheaper gas fees. So again, I did not vet these personally. I just picked the ones off the list that I had seen before and went from there. So 1rpc.io is one of them. This is the one that the other content creators were utilizing, and then BSC RPC is what I selected as well. So hopefully that provides some value, gave you guys some helpful information on how to do your own research to understand what RPCs are and validate them. And again, don't just go aping into them just to save a couple of cents on gas fees. There is definitely risk associated with this. As you guys saw, there's only one approved RPC, and the other ones are up to you to determine whether or not they're doing what they're supposed to behind the scenes with your data and your interaction and all that stuff like that. I'm not quite sure how that works. That is outside my pay grade, but someone out there who does know can, dig into that and share that information with the group if that be the case. All right, that is it for this video. Hope you found it valuable. If you did, you guys know the drill. Smash that HBO special. Help brother out by liking, commenting, subscribing, all that jazz. And until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.